Hi, I've just picked up this 99 Boxster over here, and it's such a perfect example of all the things you want to avoid when buying a cheap Porsche that I just have to make a video before I do any more work to it. Let's do a quick review. First, I've got it up on a jack, so we'll go ahead and get a look underneath to see a couple things down there before I get deeper into it. Looking down here, you can see it's got a custom exhaust. Well, actually, they just welded a piece of pipe on there and put an exhaust tip on it. There's no muffler at all. Sounds pretty cool, but it's awfully loud. And then looking here, we can see it's missing a brace that should be bolted onto this plate and going up above. Shifter linkage is really loose, and the car has trouble going into reverse. You can see up here when that moves, it actually isn't bolted on tight on this, so that shaft isn't turning like it should. Going over here, we've got a sensor up here that is totally broken off. That's for the ABS and the brake wear sensor. ABS has a speed sensor back on that wheel, so ABS is totally not working. Look at all the oil we've got back on this underneath the car. Most likely that's going to be from the spark plug tube seals, and we'll see what happens after I replace those. Could be rear main seal, which would be a trouble, but if I replace the transmission anyway, it's not going to be that big a deal to get the rear main seal while I'm at it. I do kind of like the painted bumperettes. That's always a nice touch. Coming across here, you can see it took a good hit here at one point, busted right through. That tail light's busted, got a good crack in it. Coming around here, that vent has a busted out piece. The top is what had been at one point a nice top from a later model, an 03, 04 Boxster, but you can see this part here is totally separated. That can be put back together, and I'll probably do that, but my first step is going to be to just go ahead and replace the top with another one I've got. Might as well get a look at the inside real quick. Right now you can see this window doesn't close right against the top. That's a problem with the micro switch down here for the latch. Up in here, kind of a pain to replace, but not that hard to do. But while the handle's up, the window drops, but when you release it, it goes back up. It should stay down until you close the door and then go back up. That's how it keeps from hitting against that part of the top. Inside, you can see the car is pretty trashed. Steering wheel cover leather is gone. Shift lever, you can obviously see what's wrong there. I expect the HVAC controller here probably isn't going to illuminate right. You can see the screen on that's kind of messed up. Windows missing parts. Seats actually aren't torn that bad, but definitely need some work. Yeah, that's kind of a mess right there. To open and close the top, the seller explained to me it does operate, but you need to take this wire and run it up to the battery in front to power the top to open and close. One of the most expensive things you can have to do to one of these cars is repaint it. And this one, to be a nice car again, is probably going to need to be repainted. You can see the headlights, although they're the electronic headlights, which are pretty nice if they're in good shape. These have a bad cover. This little corner piece here, those go for about $75 each, and both these need to be replaced. Bumper itself is repairable, but not pretty. Over here, you can see this this little corner light's not bad, but the one over on the other side, for some reason, he's gone ahead and put a sealant around there, and just to remove the bumper, that's going to have to be cut off. The gasket seal for the headlight completely shot. This windshield cowl here, totally broken off at this edge. No gas cover. I haven't really checked the mirrors yet, but oh, I don't know if I mentioned already, the tires, definitely the wrong size tires on the back. Front tires are actually pretty good. Some of the paint is in decent shape, but overall the body's pretty rough. A lot of hail dents. I replaced the trunk cover just before I started making the video. It's got some bad chips, a lot of hail dents. I've got this other one. Another thing that's kind of sad to me, somebody put an S on there for the Boxster S. Terrible job doing it, and anyways, that's always sad when I see somebody do that. So last night, after a long day, long drive, taking it off the trailer, I didn't realize that the power steering lines were hanging low, and they got caught on the edge of my trailer. So now, in addition to everything else, I have induced a power steering leak, and I'm going to have to replace this tubing. I don't think anything else significant was damaged at that time, but that's definitely a bummer to have to fix that. All right, there it is, and maybe 6 months from now it'll be a decent car. We'll see how it goes.